Like the video when you're coming in. Welcome to Vinny's Talk. What's up, guys? How's everybody feeling? It's Vinny's Talk. Vinny's. All right. All right, guys. Welcome to Vinny's Talk. What's up, guys? Holla if you hear me. How's everybody feeling today, man? I'm doing pretty good. We're back on the podcast to talk about the Idaho 4 case. And I just want to say this, guys, before we start the podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the videos. Also want to say that justice for Ethan, Kaylee, Maddie, and Xana, okay? And I also want to say a few words before I start this podcast. These are just my opinions and my thoughts. We want to bring you guys the facts. We want to bring you guys everything that is, let's just say we want to search for the right things and be right and do right by everyone. Because remember this, we have a grieving family. We have actual people that were once living. These are people, man, human beings. So we want to try to respect the family and respect the forgotten, the people who have gone and passed away and the victims. So we don't want to spread misinformation. We want to talk and share our thoughts and our opinions, right? But we also want to bring the facts, right? And if we don't bring the facts, we want to respect. We can have our opinions, we can have our thoughts, but we want to come close and being real with y'all. You know what I mean? So I commend YouTubers out there to do the same, because these were once living human beings, and you know what I'm saying, they didn't deserve the way they went. They didn't deserve to go like that. But anyways, guys, welcome to Vinny's Talk. Vinny's Talk, man, back on the podcast. Talking about the Idaho 4. And when I say Idaho 4, I say the names of Kaylee. I say the names of Madison, Ethan, and Xana. Rest in peace to the lost souls here. It's such a gruesome way that they lost their lives. There's not too much updates as far as the updating goes. However, Moscow police had created a video, a pre-recorded video. We're going to take a look at that here in a bit. And also, I wanted to talk about the Sigma Chi frat house a little bit and talk to you guys a little bit about that and go back into that just a tad a little bit. Talk about the grub truck. I will be taking a look. I will be taking a look again. Probably this will be my third time doing a reaction, because sometimes when we rewatch things, we miss things, right? We look at things and we seen something we didn't see, or you know. And I really do feel like the grub truck has a lot of interesting things to watch, to learn about, as far as everything behind that. Now, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but you definitely could see some sketchy behavior. And also, I was watching some video the other day on YouTube, and there were the police body cam footage of when the police supposedly pulled. They didn't pull anybody over, but they were in a car, in a plainclothes car. They were in plain clothes, and they were on foot, across the street, in the field, right by the, not too far from the actual the frat house. Okay. And they had written out some tickets to some underage kids that were just going about their business. This was like 3 a.m, set around the times of the murder. And I was watching that video and I was just like, wow, dude, like, you know, they were pulling these, you know, they were talking to these dudes, and these dudes, they were in their teens, right? They didn't want to stop. They were in the field, they were walking. Maybe the police, maybe they scared them. I don't know, but it definitely didn't seem like they were a suspect to anything that had to do with the murders. But the fact that that stop and them talking and then the police writing citations, the fact that they were talking to them right at the moment, I feel like the murders could have been going down because they were said to be going down between 3 and 4 a.m., correct? Now, we know that Xana and Ethan were only said to be, this is allegedly, but we did hear these in the reports, that they were seen at the Sigma Chi resort, and Xana was said to be seen at the frat house, at the fraternity, like I said, between 8 and 9 o'clock, but seen. Now, law enforcement's trying to connect the dots into where were these kids 4 hours later, or for the rest of the amount of time where they were. We've heard reports of them being supposedly at the freaking fraternity the whole time. I'm not sure if that's confirmed. No, it hasn't been confirmed. Those are just reports and alleged stuff that has been said, right? Well, we also have heard reports of them being at a bar. I don't know how true that is, but we do know that everyone was said to be home by between 1:45 and 1:45 and 1:56. And that just tells me that there's a lot of different stuff that's in the background that we don't know. And I talked about this on my other podcast, like little side stories, little side shit that was going on when this murder actually took place, right? So if we want to take a look at the forensic side of point of view and the evidence that was, seemed like it could have been tampered with just by learning about that the door of the home was said to be open between 8 a.m. and 8:30. The door was wide open, right? The front door was wide open. So what does that say? That just gives questions, like makes you want to scratch your head more. You know what I mean? Why was that door open? Did the killer just go through the sliding door in the second floor and go up to the third floor and then did his business and then left, right? Well, we don't know that because there's so many other questions of why was this front door wide the fuck open, right? Then we got this Enon dude, Shar or Har, whatever, is a neighbor dude, saying that he posted something on a social media, supposedly. His first post was, he thought, nothing of the sort, that there were screams. And then the second time, he went to law enforcement and was like, no, I heard a scream. You know what? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Like, your first one, you know what I'm saying? You said something, you got to stick by what you say the first time. So, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding or believing that fool the second time he's trying to tell a story. Or could he just be like, yeah, I'm telling my story and this is how I remember it. But I think law enforcement will probably look at his ass like, you a fool, dude. Like, get out of here, That's probably how they look at it. But, looking into this investigation is very crazy, man, because the first couple things that they had told us, right? Law enforcement said that this was a targeted attack. Meanwhile, we don't have to worry. This is a targeted attack. So, even though, like I said this from the beginning, even though it's targeted, we still have a crazed killer on the loose, right? Lock your doors. Don't go to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, you have to protect yourself and be aware of your surroundings, just like the police says here. I like to give you guys my opinions, my thoughts, but sometimes, like, some people they're not honest, and we have to be honest, right? But so yeah, we're learning little stories like that going on, but we just don't know certain things, and certain things aren't like adding up. And even though the police says one thing, that this is a targeted attack. If this was a targeted attack, why did 4 people tragically lose their lives? Was all 4 tragically targeted then? And the fact that the 2 roommates survived, we all have questions about the roommates. The police, they don't think that they're suspect. They're technically not ruled out because you can't really rule people out until the investigation is over. If I'm not mistaken, that's how they do investigations. Even though they would say people are clear, doesn't necessarily mean they're clear. That's just how it works in law enforcement. Anybody could say someone is cleared, right? And then going back into a crime scene, investigators find some type of evidence on a kitchen window or a kitchen wall or something like that. Then they could just be like, okay, this is evidence. We could use this. They tested. They got to do something. And someone who was ruled out and they found something that would connect someone that was ruled out, they would actually bring them back in because no one is truly cleared. And, watching and learning through other law enforcement's, ex-law enforcement's, listening to their podcasts and stuff like that, I learned from that. But it's honestly some crazy stuff that's going on here. And we want to take a look at this update from the Moscow Police Department. So without further ado, guys, we're going to take a look at this. All right, here we go.
Good morning. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain with the Moscow Police Department. I'm in charge of the Operations Division. And today is December 12th, Monday, and I want to give you an update on the King Road homicide investigations, at least the information that we have to this point. Over the weekend, investigators still continued to sort through numerous tips, calls, and online tips in regard to this investigation. There's been a lot of questions about the white car that we've been interested in. We're looking for that car because we believe through our investigation that car was in the area during the time of the murders, and we also believe that the occupant or occupants may have seen something. They may not know they have seen something. So we specifically want to talk to them, and we want to know who they are and what they might know or might be able to contribute to the investigation. Over the weekend, investigators have sorted through and prioritized numerous tips. Some are tips that came in earlier and we've been working on. Other tips are new and are relevant. It's overwhelming sometimes with the amount of information that comes in on these tip lines. So our analysts have spent hours sorting through and trying to come up with the most relevant tips first for the investigators to follow up on. They have re-interviewed some of the folks we've interviewed earlier in this investigation to clarify information. Sometimes when new information comes forward, the people that we've spoken to beforehand may have new insight on that. So it does often seem like we're backtracking, but we're really just trying to get the most important details and the best timeline that we can come up with. We have literally an army of analysts who have been sorting through videos that have been submitted through the FBI.gov Moscow upload site. Those videos are from all over town, gas stations, and specifically the area around King Road. We've been trying to use those videos to garner new information. As you can imagine, there's hours and hours and hours of video, so it does take a lot of time. I want to talk a minute about safety. There's been a lot of speculation about what is the safety to the public right now or the risk to the public right now. I would just like to add that we should always be vigilant. Certainly we should be vigilant now, but we should make that a way of life for us. We should always be walking with our head up, sticking to lighted paths, and walking in groups if we can. And in addition, letting people know when you've arrived home if you have not made prior arrangements. This is not an indication of a specific elevated risk, but something that we should be vigilant with just in our daily lives. I want to let everybody know that we are still 100% committed to solving this crime. There's a lot of information to sort through, and the information keeps coming in. And not all of the information is relevant, but you don't know if a tip is valid until you take the time to examine that tip and see how it relates to other information that you might have. We have teams in Moscow, Salt Lake City, and in Virginia, as well as other locations across the country. And we're prepared to do interviews and follow up on information at any point, anywhere. The ISP and FBI investigators, along with the Moscow Police Department investigators, includes dozens of analysts, tip line operators, and others, and they're working around the clock 7 days a week to sort through the volumes of information. MPD has detectives, support personnel, and a communications team to try to keep everything together, but it is still a daunting task. The FBI, their investigators are ready at a moment's notice at any place in the country to go conduct an interview should the tips and leads take us there. And the Idaho State Police has, besides working on the investigation, had several uniformed troopers in the area to help with safety concerns around the city and on the University of Idaho campus. And just a quick reminder, please stick to official news releases for information. Tracking down rumors and quelling rumors about specific individuals or specific events that may or may not have happened is a huge distraction for investigators, and oftentimes is the result of social media propagation, and it is very, very frustrating to investigators and hard to stay on track. Finally, I just want to add that we do have a lot of information, and we are specifically keeping that information safe. We're not releasing specific details because we do not want to compromise this investigation. It's what we must do. We owe that to the families, and we owe that to the victims. We want more than just an arrest. We want a conviction. We owe that justice to Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and Ethan. And finally, I would just like to remind anybody with information, you can call the tip line at 208-883-7180. And that is directly to the tip line office in the FBI. There's been some frustration about having to wade through the tip line, but remember, this is not the only investigation in the country, so please be patient. We want that information. Anything could break this open for us. And then also the email tip line is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. Thank you for your continued patience in this investigation.
All right, guys, there you heard it. Straight from the police of Moscow Police Department. So we have a little bit of an update. I mean, they basically just saying, they're basically just saying, reiterating what they were saying before, I guess you could say. They said they do have a lot of information, right, for us. I mean, they do have a lot of stuff that they're going with here, but they can't really give us any information. They want to keep it close to the chest, close to the vest, as you would call it, guys. And I have a lot of questions still. I have a lot of questions of Ethan and Xana, the Sigma Chi frat house fraternity, you know, and their whereabouts through those hours, and did something happen? And also the grub truck. I think a lot of people wonder about the fraternity, and could there be something that's going on there with somebody or people that didn't like Xana, or somebody who got into it with Ethan, perhaps, maybe. Now, I'm not spitting out theories. I'm just saying that that's definitely something possible that they could look into. And I'm sure that they're looking into these kind of things, right? But I'm just putting my opinion and how I feel towards like certain stories. There's like a lot of side stories I feel like that are going on. But also, I feel like that grub truck video is very important as well. Maddie and Kaylee's last moments before they went back home. You know, watching it in it, just every little reaction into the video. To some, it may seem normal because they're college students. So some people may see that as just normal behavior. People are just trying to get food, and normally that's what college students do. I would go get food after drinking, but watching that video, there's a lot of just different behaviors that are going on that people think that, okay, like especially the one dude with the hood, how he's kind of just like walking back and forth. And honestly, it's a little sketch, I'm not gonna lie, but it could just be just, I don't know, man, simple behaviors. But we have our own opinions, and that's why we feel like it's I don't know, guys, just the way he was kind of like walking around doing that kind of stuff. So, oh man, walking this way and then he follows Maddie to that side. It was just kind of weird behavior, especially, you know, them being buzzed. And something could have happened at the corner club, right? At that bar, was someone watching them? Was someone like planning it out, like, or were they just knowing that they were drinking and drunk, so they had the opportunity, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, it's definitely possible, because you could tell that Maddie was definitely buzzed. But I'm gonna be doing another reaction into that actual video because I thought it was very interesting, and there's some things that you may not miss. You may miss. I mean, when you watch it the first or second time, it's good to watch it 2 to 3 times. That way you could see little things and stuff like that. But yeah, man, watching the update from the Moscow Police Department, they basically told us that they're still looking into this Hyundai Elantra. They believe that someone occupied of that car must have seen something, or could have been a part, maybe, of the crime. Right? Could this be possible? Yes. But we don't know. We're just giving our opinions, right? But anyways, guys, thank you guys for joining today's podcast. It's your boy Vinny D, the Young Wolf, man. We're still on. Thank you guys for joining. And if you guys are just joining, what's up, man? What's happening, guys? Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my video if you haven't already. To my channel, to my video. Like it, man. Right. So yeah, I guess there's a lot of stories going around, but I want to try to stick to what is true and what is not true. But at the same time, having my own opinion about how I feel, to basically putting my take on it and trying to be as respectful as I possibly can. I know I had something on my chin there. Look, I don't know. So yeah, the weather's starting to get cold. Right before Christmas, we're all gonna fucking freeze. Seems like we're all gonna freeze here. We're gonna freeze our asses off. Then it's gonna start snowing, right? But anyways, guys, welcome to Vinny's Talk, man. True crime talk. Back in the booth here, man. Back in the booth, man. It's your boy here. We got, hey, shout out to my haters too. We love the haters. Hey, haters are our motivators, correct? Right? Oh, I'm just kidding, man. We love everybody. We love everybody equally here. So we're definitely learning, and just along for the ride, man. We want justice for these people, for the students, man, for the kids, man. We want justice for the youth, and it's important that we get justice because this person was a terrible person. Whoever did this is a very bad person, man. So we definitely got to find this person. And talking about this case is like, I think about it a lot. Like, I can't sleep sometimes because I freaking think about it, and it's in the back of my mind because I feel bad too. But that's what I'm saying. Like, got to be able to talk about what you believe in, right? Give your thoughts, give your opinions, but at the same time, be respectful, right? Yeah, man, people would be on YouTube and doing this shit for the clout, right? All for the clicks and views and all this crazy stuff. And honestly, I'm appreciative of the channel, right? I'm appreciative. I don't really have that many subscribers, to be honest, but that's fine. I mean, I got a small channel, but I know one day God will bless me, you know, with, as we grow, we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep covering it. True crime, baby. Vinny D in here. Vinny D. True crime. And we're just covering the story. Also want to cover more stories. Like I started off covering Gabby Petito, right? And I want to try to maybe get into some cold cases that have gone cold too. But right now, my focus is on this case, man, and just trying to get justice and talk and put my take on it, right? But at the same time, being honest, you know. So, anyways, guys, thank you guys, thank you for joining the podcast. But we're gonna hang it up for the evening. We gonna holler at y'all later. Thank you guys for joining. It's been a podcast. What's your boy Vinny D, the Young Wolf on Vinny's Talk, man. Hey, peace out, guys. Thank you guys for joining. Peace.